In this video, we first create a table in MySQL to store our account data, which will later be used for form submissions and database operations. Here, we first create a database named demo. But I forgot to execute the useDemo command, so the table was accidentally created in the default test database. To fix this, we should first create the demo database, then execute the useDemo command, and finally create the table inside the correct database. Now, we create a table named Account Data. This table will store account details such as the account ID, account name, and balance. Let's execute the create table command to generate our account data table. To check whether our table account data has been created successfully, we can run a simple select query. Now, we insert sample data into the account data table we just created. This will help us test our form and database operations. Let's execute the insert query to add our sample records into the account data table. After that, we run a select asterisk from account data query to verify the data has been inserted successfully. The account data table has been created successfully, and a few sample records have been inserted. Now let's see how to add a JAR file to our project in NetBeans. Step 1, right-click on the Libraries folder of your project. Step 2, select Add JAR/folder. Step 3, browse and select the MySQL Connector J9.0.0 JAR file. Step 4, finally, click on Open. This will add the MySQL Connector JAR to our project, so we can connect our Spring MVC application with the MySQL database. Now, let's see it practically in NetBeans. Now we write the configuration code. Configuration is the most important step because it establishes the connection between our Java application and the database. First, we created a db.properties file. This file is used to store important information like database URL, username, and password in one place. By keeping these details in a properties file, our project becomes more flexible and secure, because we don't need to hardcode the values inside our Java classes. Here, I should have written the database name as test, but by mistake I wrote demo. Because of this, we will get an error. So, always remember to write only that database name in which we have actually created our tables. Now, let's create a new package named config. Inside this package, instead of writing everything separately, we will create a class called MyConfig. This class will contain all our configuration-related code, so that everything remains organized and reusable. Now inside our MyConfig class, we will use the @configuration annotation. This tells Spring that this class contains bean definitions and configuration details for our application. Now, we will add the @propertySource annotation in our MyConfig class. This annotation is used to load the external properties file, in our case db.properties, so that Spring can read database-related configurations. Now, we use the @value annotation to inject the values from our db.properties file. For example, db.driverClassName, db.url, db.username, and db.password are automatically mapped to the respective variables in our configuration class. Now we are writing a method for data source configuration. We are using the @bean annotation, which tells Spring to manage this object as a bean. Inside this method, we create an object of driver manager data source. Next, we set the driver class name, database URL, username, and password using the values we got from the db.properties file. Finally, we return this data source object, which will be used by Spring to connect with our database. Now, let's create a JDBC template bean. We begin with the @bean annotation, which tells Spring to manage this method's return value as a bean inside the container. Inside the method, we define public JDBC template data source. Notice that we pass data source as a parameter. Spring will automatically inject the configured data source here. Then, we simply return a new JDBC template object, initialized with that data source. With this setup, our JDBC template is now available as a Spring-managed bean. We can easily inject it into any DAO or repository class to execute SQL queries, updates, or batch operations, without writing boilerplate JDBC code. And that's how we create a JDBC template bean using Spring's @bean annotation and data source. This makes database operations much simpler, cleaner, and more efficient. If you found this explanation helpful, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for